Pregnancy should be a time of joy and not anxiety for the woman and her family. Do you want to learn more about pregnancy or have questions about fertility and reproductive health? Then join Dr. Linda Vanutu on Facebook and YouTube every Saturday at 4 p.m. on the online pregnancy school as she discusses pregnancy, delivery, and childcare with experts.
Dear viewers, it is a pleasure to come your way once again. 2021 is gradually moving, and I hope you are moving along. Don't stay with your plans without doing anything about them. It is not proper. Whatever you have planned to do, remember that each day is an opportunity for you to do something about your plans. So please, don't stay without doing anything about your plans in the whole day, a week, and as you go along. No, don't do that. This is the online pregnancy school, and today we have another exciting session for you. For those of us who are joining us for the first time, I welcome you to this wonderful online pregnancy school. It is not just about the pregnant woman, it's about the family. And one of the things we're trying to do is to help to reduce maternal and newborn deaths. Because once the mother survives, the child in the womb will also survive. And not just survive, but we want the children who are born to be of good health. You see, that is why we want people to know about what happens during pregnancy, during the time of labor, and even after delivery. This year, we're going to have wonderful sessions. I hope you have been learning a lot and you continue to join us. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you turn on the notification button so that anytime there's a program, you would know about it and you will also join us. Don't keep it to yourself. Share with family and friends because there's a lot that we're going to discuss in this year. I'm happy and I'm grateful to God that so far we have had a lot of people benefiting from what we have discussed. We have discussed a lot of things, a lot. So go to my YouTube channel, Linda Vanutu, look through the videos. There are many of them and listen to them. And if you listen and you have any comment or a question, please send me a comment. And if you go to the Facebook, just look for the pregnancy school. You will see what we have done, listen to them, and again, send us comments. And if there's any question that you have, please don't hesitate. You can send me a comment or you can send a comment by WhatsApp +233 59 242 0625. That is the number that you can use. Don't hesitate at all. Just send me a message and I'll be very happy to answer the question for you. Today, we're going to have a very wonderful discussion, and we're going to do this with a colleague, a female doctor, and let's go for this short break. Welcome back. Remember that this program is proudly sponsored by Promise Ghana, Vanutu International, Reverse Tap, Samsara Ventures, and Erama Clinic. Please do business with them and you'll be very happy you did. Please. So let me welcome my guest for today. My guest is a medical officer. She will tell us a little about herself. By her name, I call her Ifua, but she would introduce herself by telling us her name and what she does. So, Doc, you are most welcome. Kindly introduce yourself to us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vanutu, and I'm so excited to be here. My name is Dr. Ifua Asante Chumesi, and I'm passionate about everything to do with maternal child health in connection to primary health care, because my belief is that it starts from the basic level to help. That's where we are doing this education so that people are equipped to be able to, I always say that to be their first doctor. I've practiced for 20 years. I've done 11 years clinical, 9 years district director, being a public health specialist. And I'm doing my fellowship to become a consultant in public health. And so that's basically me. And my specialty is in family health, family reproductive health, just like Dr. Vanoti. In fact, she was my lecturer when I was doing membership and my boss. And I'm really passionate about things to do with maternal child health. So that is me. And I also I call myself a doctor minister. Like I do ministry in healthcare where I help people to connect people to doctors. And that one, I do it for God. And I'm passionate when it comes to the things of God. Thank you so much. So that's me, Dr. Ifwa Asante Chumesi.
Dr. Ifwa Asante Chumesi. Very, very passionate about what she does. Hey, 20 years in the service. That is wonderful.
Finally.
One day at a time, one day at a time. We're very grateful to God, you see. And one thing you said, which is very good, is that you are doing things for the service of God. That is very important. We cannot do anything without acknowledging the strength and the power that the Lord gives us. And what we can give back to humanity is very important. And in fact, that is why we continue to bring you this program. So please, if you have not yet subscribed, just hit that button. And remember that it is on Saturdays, 4 p.m. GMT. Invite a friend, invite a family member, invite anybody at all that you know to join us, and you will learn a lot. Doc, congratulations. You are now moving on, doing a lot. And that's what I said from the beginning, that if you plan to do something, please, it's a day at a time. So go ahead and follow the plans that you have put down. Don't let the year go by without you doing anything about what you've planned to do in 2021. So congratulations. And I pray that the Lord will see you through. Soon you'll be a consultant. Wonderful.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you so much for encouragement.
Yeah. Doc, today we're going to talk about the pregnancy school.
Yes.
And some people may be wondering what it is. A pregnant woman may have attended one before. Somebody else may not have attended a pregnancy school before. So we want to let people know about what the pregnancy school is all about and what benefits, if any, they will generate from attending the school. So if somebody were to ask you, what is the pregnancy school about? What would you say?
It's basically a school. And the objective is to make sure that, I remember when we started in 2014 with your support, I remember telling the team that our objective is basically to make you your first consultant, your first doctor, so that you know your body and what your body is telling you. So what we do is that we try to separate it from the focused antenatal care. That is also essential. But if you've been pregnant before and you are tired, especially in the settings that we have in Ghana, and you have about 100 of pregnant women really, really tired, even though you are doing focused antenatal care, you don't really get the time to be able to tell your midwife everything. The second thing that pregnancy school does for us, for the pregnant woman, is a peer-to-peer learning, where they have a discussion. And we also make sure that that's not where you are going to be trained to be a gynecologist, obstetrician, gynecologist, or a midwife. But we give you the opportunity to know and have the knowledge to know that these are the danger signs. Where do I go to and what do you do? And then you learn from the other pregnant women that are also there. One beautiful thing about the pregnancy school that I know Focused Antenatal Care advocates for is to come with your spouse, with the person who accompany you when you are going into labor. But it's so exciting. I mean, it's quite a short time. So you know that you have a maximum of like 45 minutes. You have a discussion with the team. And some have made it so interesting. There's the ultrasonographer there who actually explains to you what in the picture you are seeing on the screen. So in a nutshell, I'll say that it is a school where you build your knowledge in maternal health so that you know what is happening to your body. Secondly, you have a peer-to-peer discussion where you learn from each other. Thirdly, you have your family members around you. I forgot one thing. What we actually do is using audiovisual. So we have, and it's quite interesting because even in the village, the community health nurse can bring the laptop, and then we started what we call the community pregnancy school, where she can actually show the mother the pictures, the video, because all she knows is that the baby is in the tummy, and she thinks the baby is swimming in the tummy. So she sees the milk, she then understands. So basically, pregnancy school equips the woman to be her first doctor in quotes. That's basically what the pregnancy school is.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, you know your body more than anybody else, and it is important that you are able to appreciate if something is not going well, that something is not going well. But then you should also know how this baby is growing inside you, because that is how you would even learn to love this baby more. You know, we have discussed in our previous sessions about how the baby starts inside the mother's womb. We have looked at how the baby grows from a very tiny, tiny, tiny little thing. It becomes like a lemon, then it goes on to become like corn, then it goes on to become a human being. And that is something that is fascinating, and you need to know more about it. We are learning from Dr. Ifua that the pregnancy school is actually a school. They go through classes, and it's not just for women who are pregnant, but for their relatives, and especially for their husbands as well. Thank you very much. Now, Doc, what is different about it? Why should a woman go for antenatal and also come to the pregnancy school?
And you see, research also has shown that, I think they use Confanoche, that at least the pregnant woman should spend a minimum of 15 minutes with a midwife.
Okay.
But in the settings that we have, we don't have that luxury. So she can't say everything. And then you are in the room with a midwife who hasn't got opportunity to give you the videos. For instance, we show them labor. Sometimes it's just 3 minutes where they see. I remember the second time we did it in Shayo Sudoku, there was this woman who had refused to go through cesarean session. He had gone through infertility treatment for 8 years. And when she saw the video, when she saw how the cord had gone around the neck, she saw how the pelvis opened, the cervix opened, she understood what it meant. So in fact, it was quite interesting. I still have pictures of her where she decided to do the cesarean session. So the difference is that, you know, research also shows that audiovisuals helps us to learn easy than the way we teach. You might focus on dental care special in the sense that it lets you go through the laboratory infection, let you do your labs to pick your results. But sometimes this woman even needs to understand why she's doing the lab. So, I mean, if you decide to explain why she's going to do all the labs, then you're going to do about 30 minutes and it won't work. The other ones will be sitting there and your antenatal care will close at 6 o'clock. So what the pregnancy school does, and I forgot to add that the women actually decide when they want to do it.
Yes.
They can decide to do it under a tree. They can decide to do it at the church, the where and the when. So they can decide to do it on Saturdays. Like Shayo Sudoku, they preferred 7 a.m. I was so surprised. Why would you want 7 a.m.? But 7 a.m., they are all there. And they knew that it wasn't going to be my turn, like the ANC, you go in 10. So she's going to wait for her 10. This one is a whole group being taught the basics of pregnancy and labor. They are watching it on TV. I mean, we don't talk that much. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, we teach them. Then they can ask questions. And it's quite interesting when their peers can even be the facilitators themselves. And pregnancy school is so special in the sense that it's not just a midwife. You have opportunity to see the obs and gynae, the pediatrician, the nutrition officer, the pharmacist. Everybody in the hospital comes. And then you have your another, maybe sometimes is a husband of somebody who have gone through the pregnancy school who actually is teaching.
Yeah.
And then the beautiful thing I love so much is when you give them the tour of the theater, because you know when you're going to go for CS, you see somebody's crab and you can't see the person's face, you are scared, you think you are dying. But here they see the doctor and they can talk to the doctor and they are prepared and they understand. So the difference is the audiovisuals and the practicality of knowing how the whole process of pregnancy and the people, the team who's supporting you, because usually it's the midwife you meet. But now you are meeting everybody, the nutrition officer, and it's not that long. I know that it's a school where your child, you drop her at 7:30 and your child is closing at 2. No, maximum 1 hour, everything else has ended and you can go home. So you can still do the focus antenatal care, but the reason behind the focus antenatal care is what you get at the pregnancy school. So I think that's the difference between the two.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, we are talking about the pregnancy school. Pregnancy should be a time of joy and not of fear, not of anxiety, not of uncertainties, not a risky time that, we don't know what is happening and we don't know what we should do. The pregnancy school is an addition to the antenatal clinic. It doesn't replace it. I always say it does not replace the antenatal because, as Dr. Efua is telling us, when you go for the antenatal clinic, it is one woman at a time to see the midwife or to see the doctor after a talk has been given. If you have questions you want to ask, I'm sure looking at the rest of the women sitting outside, you wouldn't want to spend 30 minutes with the midwife and it will be a challenge. So this is an opportunity for you to go and learn more about your pregnancy, more about what you can do, more about some of the things that are done for you. So many things. And that is why this online pregnancy school is a good thing that you should join. Please, it is very important because you have an opportunity to hear more. When you go for the pregnancy school, we are listening to Dr. Efua, and she's telling us so many benefits that you can get from attending the pregnancy school. And I hope that you are taking notes. And if you're a pregnant woman who has not yet looked for a pregnancy school to join, this will encourage you to do that. This is the online pregnancy school, and my name is Dr. Linda Van Mutu. Today, my guest is Dr. Efua Asante Twumasi. She is a doctor. She's worked in the clinic. Now she's a district director, and she's told us a little about herself, that she's a public health practitioner. Very important. Doc, now I would like to ask this. Can anybody join the pregnancy school, or you need to have something, maybe permission from the health sector that I need to join the school before you can come? Can I join any school?
You can join any school. That's the beautiful thing about it. You don't need to have a scan done like the focus antenatal care where you need a scan done. Even when you are not pregnant, you can come, because that's where you understand what pregnancy is. You know how to take care of yourself, certain things that you don't need to eat or do before you get pregnant. And so all you need to know is go to any facility. For example, in Greater Accra, almost all the facilities are pregnancy schools, the health centers. And what we even decided to do, which we started in 2018, is what we call the community pregnancy school. So the community health nurse, even as they do their home visit, you can ask them. You can ask them questions. So it's basically free. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to have a lab stand. Go to any facility near you. And we say near you because you don't want it to cost you to go to focus antenatal care and then cost you to go to pregnancy school. You can decide to be at a focus antenatal care at Rich Hospital and still go to your focus antenatal care at Amanfru because it's close to your house. Because the number of times that I'm sure Dr. Vanutu will discuss, will be asking questions on that one, because the frequency of doing that is more than the pregnancy school. So we don't want that focus antenatal care. So we don't want it to cost you. We want it to be fun. We want you to enjoy it without costing you. so that you don't need anything. You just walk in and you'll be warmly welcomed.
Wow. Okay, Dot, we'll go into more detail as to how the school is run. But then, who are the teachers?
Beautiful. Like I said earlier on, the teachers are basically the people that the people you see at the focus antenatal care and the people you normally don't see, plus your peers. That's what makes it so beautiful. So you know your midwife. And so I always tell the students that I call them students because it's a school, that you have opportunity to have the numbers of a lot of people. Initially, it's your midwife who writes a number behind your focus, your antenatal book. But this one, you have the nutrition officer, so it's the pharmacist, the nutrition officer, the psychologist, the gynecologist, the pediatrician, it can be the district director, the public health nurse. And then sometimes people have already gone through the school, teach you. So basically, you learn from your peers, you learn from the other family members who have been there, and you learn from the people who are actually behind making sure that your pregnancy is normal and the people who directly attend to you. So basically, the team is big. The team is huge.
The team is huge, and it's all for your good, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
It's all for your good. And that is why we have a team that works. Now we have heard that we can have the community one and we can have the clinic one. Let's go for this short break. And when we come back, we'll discuss the rest of them. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome back. Before we went on the break, we were talking about the pregnancy school. And if you have just joined us, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn off your notification bell so that anytime we have a program, it will come straight to you. My guest for today is Dr. Efua Asante Twumasi. She is in training to become a consultant. Wow. That is very big, very, very big title. But thank you. She's so passionate about maternal health issues and family health. In fact, in general, she's so passionate about family health. And as you know, this is the online pregnancy school. We are talking about the pregnancy school. And a little background is that we started the pregnancy school because we realized that there was the need for pregnant women and their families to know more about pregnancy. And we have that book written, and I'm thankful to God that I wrote that book, setting up this pregnancy school, how you set it up, how you run it, how you monitor what is happening. And it is a very big thing that by God's grace we introduced, and we see that it is working very well. But we need to understand, and anything that you do, when you start implementing, there's the need to go back to see whether it is working well. If it is not working well, what can you do? How can you improve upon it? And then we move forward. But the bottom line is that we want pregnant women to know more about pregnancy, about delivery, about childcare, and they shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. Dr. Efua has given us a lot of information about how they have been running the pregnancy school since we introduced it in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. Doc, so the teachers, are they teachers who have gone to the teachers training, or what kind of teachers do we have?
I would say that because I told you that it's a big team. So for instance, the pharmacist has had his training already, but we still put them together to train them as to how to communicate with the pregnant women.
Yeah.
Because we don't want it to be a class. It's not like we are turning them into specialists, turning them into midwives. So even though, for instance, the nutrition officer has gone to school when it comes to nutrition. He's got the knowledge in nutrition, but we still train people as to how to communicate, as to how to relate with the mothers, to make them feel at home, to be able to learn. So we still train them a bit as to what to do, how to do with the data to collect. Because we don't, like you said, when you do something, you have to go back to check whether it's doing well. So after teaching them, we have data collection tools that we developed in Greater Accra. I think it was in 2015, where we put a group of specialists and then there's community of nurses who are going to do it and all that together and develop the tool. So they collect data. For that matter, you need that training, because you need to know how to collect the data and evaluate and see whether the school is faring well. So basically, they don't go through 3 years training or 4 years training. It might be 2 days. 2 days of fun, of learning, to have the knowledge to teach them based on the technical knowledge you've acquired already.
Okay. So what kind of lessons do the pregnant women go through when they come for the pregnancy school?
Okay. Ideally, we were hoping that the pregnant woman will come early, like when she's a week pregnant. So we have the level 100 and level 200, like you have in the university. In the level, we are looking at 19 topics. And that's why we want you to be able to go to the nearest facility. And you'll be so excited. I mean, you hear 19 topics and you are wondering, can I finish them? You can. It's exciting and you can. So we have 12 topics for level 100, in the sense that one, they come for, we have 7 topics for level 100. That one is once in a month. Then you come. We start teaching you how to know your body, how your body is changing and why. We show you the videos. You understand why you are spitting, you are vomiting, and you don't get scared again, especially when it's your first baby. But one thing we are particular about, because when you look at WHO will tell you that the number 1 cause of death is sepsis, infection. Then Africa, it's hemorrhage, that the woman that bleeds. In Ghana, it's hemorrhage. In Greater Accra, it's hypertension diseases, pregnancy-induced hypertension diseases. So we actually focus a lot on that. So in the topics, even though we have 7 topics in level 100, we have 12 in level 200. In level 200, you are like 28 weeks to 40 weeks. And that's when the changes can go so fast. And so we don't want to miss anything. So ideally, we hope they could do weekly. And we make it so short, so simple. And when you look at the topics, for instance, if you're taking you to pregnancy-induced hypertension, we are not going to explain the physiology of hypertension. No, you just go straight. Your head, your eyes. It can be my head, my nose, like the way we teach the children in nursery. Just let you to pick the signs. Immediately it happens, you know. But we got 5 topics that we call the critical topics. Danger signs in pregnancy for the level 100 people before 27 weeks, and kick count, how to know how your baby moves, because that's what you can tell how you can tell the baby is in trouble, danger signs of the baby, danger signs in labor. And it's basically the danger signs. So for instance, if you are listening to us for the very first time and you are 38 weeks, you haven't heard anything, when you come, we call something extra classes, like you do, like they do for BEC and WASI. And because the classes are so short, we pick the 5 important classes, like birth and complication preparedness, how to prepare for the taxi who pick you if you don't have a driver. So we take you through that short course, and so that you know what to do and to pick. For instance, I remember this beautiful story. I know Dr. Vanutu remembers, where this woman went to a private facility. We taught her what meconium was. We said, when you go and wee and you see green and you are in labor, start screaming. If they don't mind you, scream as loud as you can, because it means that your baby is dying. It was so exciting. I heard this woman call me. She had a baby. What happened was that she went to this hospital and she came from the loo. No, my baby is dying. I think they were surprised, because I know what the meconium stain is. I've seen the green thing they call meconium. I need to go to theater. My baby is dying. And then you see, I think when they heard the meconium, they're like, this woman must be a relative of a doctor or a midwife. So surely they took her to theater and she got her baby. So we do the 7 topics for level 100. the 12 topics for level 200. But at any point when you join us and you have missed the 5 cardinal topics, we try and make sure that we take you through. So basically, and they are so short and so simple.
Yes.
So short and so simple that we can do the 5 in 30 minutes. And that's how the topics are.
Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, we are talking about the pregnancy school. And I am excited talking about this because when we introduced the pregnancy school for the first time in the Western region, one of our things we wanted to do was to reduce our maternal mortality and our newborn deaths. And we observed that the women needed to know more about pregnancy, more about delivery, and more about child health. Now, I'm sure for those of you who have been joining, you've heard me talk about the promise, that this program is proudly sponsored by the Promise Initiative Ghana. And I'm excited talking about it because it is, I believe, it's a God-given assignment that we are going through. And when we go through with all the aspects of the promise, including the pregnancy school, we see results. The pregnancy school is for you. It is not for the doctor. It is not for the midwife. It is for you, the pregnant woman, and your spouse, your family members. And Dr. Fuasanti has told us that they have what they call the remedial classes. Because if you haven't heard of it and you come, please don't be afraid. They are very friendly. It's in a very friendly environment. The people there are just like you. They have their stories they share. You know, Doc, it's very important because I have had calls from women who did not attend the school, but they had attended antenatal. And they called and said, I have this low abdominal pain. What should I do? And this was at 10. So definitely they should have known, you know, that when you get to 10, you can have this pain. But it is not to say that don't go to the antenatal. Please go to the antenatal clinic. Anytime you are given the chance to come, please go. You are supposed to do your lab tests, do them. If you are supposed to do a scan, do it. Whatever you are asked to do to go for the antenatal, please do that. And then find a pregnancy school that is close to you and attend it. Our view is that when you put the two together, you will hear a lot because the pregnancy school, as we have heard, it's a very informal place. You have opportunity to ask questions. You are not afraid. The people who are with you are just like you. And as she told us, you see the doctor's faces, you have an opportunity to see what happens in the hospital so that you are not afraid. But the most important thing is that you are empowered to be your doctor, to take care of yourself and take action. If you hear something and you cannot take action, then it is not good. So you are able to take action when you hear this. Now, Doc, thank you very much. You have given us a lot of insight, and from the way you are smiling, I know it is very, very exciting. But somebody would want to know that in this phase of COVID, what happens?
Right. That's quite interesting. You know, COVID just, I mean, the way it started, it took us all by surprise. So even at a point for the one-on-one, the community one, we're a bit worried because, you know, the community health nurse will go to the home to educate the woman. Even for home visit, at a point, National wanted us to do special home visits, which actually includes the pregnant women. So what we are trying to do, especially in my district, is to try and practice all the protocols and still educate them. And I'm excited about the Zoom and the online, the Facebook, the YouTube, so that for those who can actually, who have money to get data and listen, at least we sort them out. For those who can't do it, what we are trying to do, especially in my district, is to have a group of 5. What we are also trying to do is to do it at the outreach point where they already take their children for weighing. Okay. If you realize, normally the outreach points are not too far from their homes.
Yes.
So then there will be 5 women sitting under the tree. This one, we are not advocating under the tree schools, but basically, and that's where the child welfare clinic normally they do, especially in Krowo. Krowo has big trees. My guy is bad, so I can't. They describe the community by that tree. The trees are so huge and they are beautiful to sit under. So what we are trying to do is to have these 5 women practicing. We'll give them face masks, sanitizers, and then we still use the audiovisual to teach them. They might not have the opportunity to have the community health nurse go too close to them to show them the audios. So what we are trying to use is use the flip charts and use things, for instance, use a funnel to demonstrate what a pelvis is, and then we use the dummies that we have to demo the ones that you can see the baby coming out and all that. And we had opportunity. Citizens for Health gave us the facilities, some of them. And so for those who want to go, we are trying to see how we can also still do the home visit like National is asking us to do for the special home visit, which the pregnant woman is inclusive, where they can sit far away and they still talk to them. But we think the 5 at a time will be excellent. We tried it and it was beautiful. I mean, they could still sit the 2 meters apart in a circle, like you are doing focus group discussion. And then the public health nurse, the CHN, supervised by the midwife in the sub-district or in the facility close by, comes to direct the person. But you see, because the topics are so simple, the community health nurse can handle it.
Yes.
I mean, they are so simple. It is just to let you know that if your child that you gave birth to is having yellow eyes, is doing A, B, C, it means this.
Yes.
And so that's what they impress upon them. And sometimes they can check their BP. It's so beautiful. So during the pregnancy schools, one thing that we also do is that we go through the antenatal book, because you see, when the HB is bad, we use the red pen to write it. I don't know why. Some people think that it means that they've done well. Now they know the page where the HBs are. They know the pages where the BPs are. So you can have a call where they are like, my red is, I've seen the red that you said, and it's 7. And so she understand that her HB is bad. So that's what we are trying to do in the midst of COVID. So it's something we are starting afresh. What we are trying to do in Crow is like a pilot, so that we do it and we share with our fellow district directors and share with the regional health management team that even in the midst of COVID, it can work.
Wonderful. Even in the midst of COVID, it can work. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, we are talking about the pregnancy school, which I'm so excited talking about, because when we started, we realized that it worked. And that is why the book that you see coming on your screen was written. And this book is to serve as a guide for people to use to set up pregnancy schools within their areas. If you are a midwife, if you are running a clinic where you see pregnant women, we would advise and suggest to you that please think about setting up a pregnancy school. And if you want to do that, just get in touch with us and we'll be very happy to support you to be able to set up the pregnancy school. Let me just remind us that this program is proudly sponsored by Promise Ghana, Vanuatu International, Reverse Up, Samsara Ventures, and Erama Clinic. And if you have not yet called any of them, please do that and do business with them. And please remember to also adhere to the protocols of washing your hands and teach your children to do the same. And if you don't have anything specific doing in town, please stay at home. Don't go to town, don't go to parties, don't go to all these places that have a lot of people gathering. Please just stay at home so that we all try to keep safe. Let's go for this short break. You are welcome back. If you have just joined us, we are talking about the pregnancy school. So exciting. And my guest for today is Dr. Efua Asante Twumasi. She actually took it up. And Doc, maybe you tell us your story. But when we introduced the pregnancy school in the Greater Accra region, I introduced it to all the people within the region. And then she was one of the first people who took it up. And now she will tell us a little more about that before we continue. So, Doc, now we introduced the pregnancy school, and then you took it up. How many
Yeah.
people started and how many people have
I
joined?
knew you were going to ask me that question. I mean, Dr. Vanutu knows our experience, but I think, you see, Dr. Vanutu, the reason why I really took it up was that I had my 3 girls, I have 4 girls, and I had 3 of them in the US and Sarasota, Florida. And I had the opportunity of being with the Lamers class. And
Okay.
I was so fascinated how they taught breastfeeding. And it was, but when I came back and I was heading quickly, I really wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to do it.
Okay.
So I was just there. So when you came to Greater Accra and you mentioned it, I was so excited. I said, oh, okay, this opportunity. Then I had an amazing team. I had public health nurses, nutrition, midwives. We were so excited. We had done I remember Dr. Vanutu came to Shai Sudoku. We did all the things. We did community entry. We did a meeting with MCE, NCCE, everybody, SHEP coordinator. So we thought everything was fine. And then we had our first class. I live in Spintex, drove all the way to Shai. Everybody, the nutrition officer lives in Dowenya. We all got there excited. Oh, only 8 people came. We were so sad. And I remember calling Dr. Vanutu almost in tears that the people didn't come. We did everything and they didn't come. And I remember we still have pictures of the 8 of them standing with us. And then, but the good thing is that one of them was the one who refused the cesarean session and did it. So it was okay. We did it with Dr. Brighton also joined us. The med soup of Child Sudoku Hospital. And so Dr. Vanutu encouraged us, don't give up, continue, don't give up. So we said, okay, the next month we did it from 8 to 42. We got so excited, then to 92, then to 300. And then sometimes you do it and they are still sitting there. Show the video again. Then we basically have to beg them to go home. It was like, because some came from as far as Shai and Lower Manyo Krobo, you know, because as far as Medina, Lampantanan, yes. And so sometimes don't be discouraged when you start, because the 8 got excited and I think they just went to tell their friends. They became 42, they became 92, and then we did a 300 and the graduation was massive.
Yes.
I mean,
so I was going to ask, do they ever end the school? And if they end, what happens?
They end, and it's quite interesting. You know, in Ghana, our culture of wearing white, they come in their white, and we do a certificate for them. And then the district director signs, and the regional director countersigns. And some of them actually frames them and put them in their sitting room. And there was this particular pregnant woman who actually had 2 certificates because he came twice. I know you remember her because in one of our annual reviews, he came to give a testimony. The children are grown now. You see, the beautiful thing about pregnancy school is that I left Shai Sudoku in 2016. I had a call in 2019. And the woman said, hello, my name is this. I was in the pregnancy school. I left 2016 and had a call in 2019. My child is 3 years old. But you see, I'm not calling you because of the pregnancy school, but he's running a temperature.
Oh.
I realized that this pregnancy school is huge. I mean, it's giving her the opportunities. So what should I do?
Yeah.
Because of the relationship that we had with them, even the child being crossing postnatal and is now a toddler, she knew that she could call us and still get the help. So that's how beautiful the pregnancy school is. It's a long-term relationship.
Wonderful.
To the university, they will also come back to the pregnancy school and call us.
Amen. Yes, it is wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, and that is what we are looking for. We are looking for an opportunity where we as healthcare workers would have that cordial relationship with our clients. We want them to come to us. We don't want them to be afraid. We want them to know that these are human beings just like us, but it is just by God's grace that they have gone through some training to be where they are. And whatever they have that they have to offer is for us. So please, if you haven't joined any pregnancy school, ask, because now there are how many pregnancy schools in Greater Accra, Dr. Asante?
Every facility has one.
Almost every facility
communities has. Before COVID, we had about 192 community pregnancy schools.
Wow.
Accra. Yes.
Something that started with 8 people when Dr. Sandy
Yeah.
was almost in tears. Dr. Manotti, the people did not. I said, you have done so well. If 8 people have come, it means
I
that you've done
remember
very
so
well.
well.
Very, very well. So we are
Yeah.
very grateful to God that this has gone this far. And as we speak, please, if you are anywhere, you are listening to us, you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do that. Just hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you would know when we come live with any program. This year, we are going to have a lot of wonderful programs, but I wanted us to understand what the pregnancy school is about. The book that I wrote on the pregnancy school, Communicating with Pregnant Women and Their Families, it just states what it is. It's a way of communicating with the pregnant women and their families. There are so many things that you would benefit from attending the pregnancy school. If you are a man, your wife is pregnant, please go with her to the pregnancy school. If you are not yet pregnant, but you want to know more about pregnancy, you can still go. And as the people share their stories, you will learn from them. And then you also learn from the classes that the health workers run for you. It's very important. Very, very important. Let's go for this short break. You are welcome back. Please remember that this program is proudly sponsored by Promise Ghana, Vanuatu International, Reverse Step, Samsara Ventures, and Erama Clinic. And if you have not yet called Erama Clinic, please do call them. They can talk to you on phone. They will schedule meetings with you. They have so many services that they offer. So please do that. And if you are staying around the Sakumanu area, just look for them and do business with them. They have a pharmacy which you can visit with your prescription, or you go there, you see the pharmacist. There's so much that they do for you. So please look out for them and visit them. Today, my guest is Dr. Efua Asante Twumasi. We are talking about the pregnancy school, why it was started, where it was, where it is now. Now, Doc, are there any challenges? If there's somebody out there who wants to set one up or somebody who wants to attend, are there challenges that you want to share with them?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Vanuatu. I think one of the challenges can be solved by buying your book, because I realized that normally you don't go through the steps. You know, in your book, you explain the role of the community entry and all that. And you see, people kind of think that rural setting is so different from urban setting. No. You might have a chief in a rural setting, but you have the MCE, you have the Rotary Club, you have the Lions Club, you have the PTAs, you have the Women's Fellowship. So the concepts that we started with in Western Region, it's where you have to do, community, the CHIPS concept, you need to do community entry. That's basically how your book started with. I mean, so the steps in the book, making sure that the community is with you, the facility with you, have a meeting with, and that's the steps they miss. So the facilities that struggle had to go back to do it again, because they thought they could just continue with the focus antenatal care and it works. This is very, very different. So the challenges were the steps, actually going through the steps, which I think they get your book, it's easy and it can be done. And the next thing was which research also makes us understand transportation, the cost of transportation. That's why we're advocating for finding the closest facility, or where you used to take your child for weighing. Normally, people don't travel long hours for weighing. Yes. So the challenge is for the side of the community, the mother, the demand side is basically geographical access and financial access. And sometimes they come with toddlers. That's one of the issues we had when we were in Shai. And so we realized that we had to enroll the nursing students. So we actually had a toddler class because this woman has a baby, is pregnant, and has a 2-year-old. And a 2-year-old will be running around the room and wouldn't understand. We had amazing enrolled nurses were doing rotation, who offered to actually do the toddler class. They will play ball, throw balls with them. So actually, it's the mother who has 2 other children and where to put them. So that's basically the ones in the community. For the facility, it was the difficulty separating the antenatal care from the pregnancy school. And I think the mistake was that the length of the duration of the school was where the problem was. Just do 45 minutes of exciting activity or audiovisuals and end it. And we can even schedule it and separate it. But some of the facilities too were very small. So like OPD at Abraka Polyclinic had that particular issue because they have focused antenatal care taking place here. You have OPD. So they just didn't have a space to do it. And that's where the issue is. So when you're a facility and you're having that problem, you'll be surprised that there are other communities or a church or something close by who will willingly offer the room because they respect the med soup. That, we do this and your woman will even benefit. So I think for the facilities who all don't have space can also work together with the public health unit. And I think one of the issues that I learned through the promise was public health and clinical collaboration. And so I think if the clinical team and the public health team appreciates each other, it's a public health team that works with the community. So they just can come and give the med soup the feedback that we don't have space, but the church, Adabaka, for instance, had a Methodist church close by, and they can easily have the school there. So I think for the facility, it wasn't so difficult because we have amazing staff in Ghana Health Service, but it's how to schedule this time so that you have space to do it. And I think after that, it shouldn't be a problem. It's a wonderful thing to do.
It should not be a problem at all. Pregnancy should be a time of joy and not anxiety or fear. And once you know what is happening to you and you know what to do, the fear would reduce. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have had a wonderful discussion on the pregnancy school. Some people reach out to me and they say they want to join the school. I'm sure today you have heard some of the topics that are discussed. And we also have this online one. So if you are out there listening to us, you want to join our school, the online one, please send me a comment and we will enroll you based on where you are, what you want to learn, and then move it forward. And Dr. Asante has told us that now they are trying to limit the number of women who come together. This is all for your good. It doesn't mean that they won't cover everybody, but they will do it such that there are only a few people at a time so they can spread out and prevent the spread of the COVID, but also give them opportunity to learn more about pregnancy. Once again, my name is Dr. Linda Vanotu, and today my guest, a very wonderful lady, very passionate, very enthusiastic about her work, Dr. Mrs. Efua Asante Twumasi. She is a district director, but she's currently in school learning to add more to her knowledge so that she will do more for the family. And so she's doing family health. That is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful news indeed.
Thank you so much.
So I hope you have learned a lot today. But Doc, is there a last word for anybody? One of the women who attended the pregnancy school, I believe the one who had the 2 certificates, she said that pregnancy school, smooth delivery.
That's right.
That is what it does. Yes. Any last word before we go?
My last word is that it doesn't matter your level of education. Pregnancy school. Sometimes people think that I know this, I know that, I'm a doctor, I'm a PhD student, I'm in the market, I'm in this. The pregnancy is different. Even for those who've had more than 2 kids, you yourself know that is different. So it is always good to acquire knowledge. And sometimes you think that you have read, but when you come as a group, it's quite interesting because you learn and share ideas. That's why even when you go online, you have a lot of forums. That's why alcoholics even have a group where they share their experiences. So my last word is that the body, we don't know everything about the body. Pregnancy is just different, but it's good to learn from each other, learn from the facilitators, and get excited about it. And if you have access to data, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Join the Facebook, join the YouTube, and I think you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot. I wish when I was having my babies, when I was lucky, the 3 of them, I was in the US. I had the opportunity, but it was a bit different because most of them were all white. And the language, I mean, the things they will talk about, like Kwewu Suswa won't happen in the US, but it will happen. So it's a good experience I've been through that I think that you should be through. It's amazing. Personally, and the ones I have taught, I fell in love with all of them. It's an amazing thing to do. And please join. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk and so for you to listen to me. Thank you. And
thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much.
Encourage me in my tears. In my tears, and then when we call her, she will drive all the way to Shai Osutoku to make sure that we don't give up and we continue. God bless you and thank you very much.
Amen. God bless you too. I'm very, very excited that the pregnancy school has taken roots. Yeah. I'm very, very excited. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I always say that if you have an idea, please don't keep it. Just take action. Write it down. The Bible even tells us, just write it down and God will give you that grace to be able to carry it through. Today, we have had an exciting session talking about the pregnancy school. And my Facebook, they just look for me, the pregnancy school. And on YouTube, Linda Vanot. If you have not followed us, please do that now. The pregnancy school on Facebook, and just hit that subscribe button on the YouTube, Linda Vanot, and you will hear a lot more. We have a lot that will bring your way. We want to thank you for your time today, and we pray that if you're a pregnant woman, you will look for a pregnancy school near you and join. And if you run a maternity home, if you run a hospital that sees pregnant women, please get in touch with us if you want to start the pregnancy school. You'll be amazed. It's a combination. And then the good thing, as Dr. Ifua said, is that the public health and clinical care work together as a team. And if you see the graduation and what happens, oh, you'll be excited. There's so much that happens. We educate them on things that are around us, and they have the opportunity to ask questions and also bring on board their own experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that this program was proudly sponsored by Promise Ghana, Vanuatu International, Reverse Tap, Samsara Ventures, and Erama Clinic. And don't forget, get in touch with me, get a copy of the Promise magazine, and you will learn a lot about pregnancy. See you another time. Doc, bye. Bye to everyone.